Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you remember when I made this video a few days ago? Bulgarian president vetoes transfer of 100 armored vehicles to Ukraine. And I asked, why? What's the trick? Well, if you didn't watch this one, go and watch it. If not, that's fine. That means you know something about the subject, or a lot. So, Bulgarian president vetoed, the delivery of 100 armored vehicles. And guess what happened in the meantime? As I said in that video, what's the trick? I said that the Bulgarians will play hard a little bit, like a woman who wants to be but she's not easy. So she's like, oh, I don't want to. No, come stop. But she wants, So same here, Bulgaria, we're not going to give you 100 now. Stop. And then the Americans say, hey, stay here, goddammit. Bend over, bang, bang. And then, okay, I guess. So now, look what happened here. I was right, my friends. Bulgaria overrides presidential veto to provide Ukraine with armored personnel carriers. So they got bent over by the Americans, who probably said, you know what, guys, this is what we're going to do. You're going to give those old armored vehicles to Ukraine, just, to show like you are with us. And then we're going to give you some new ones that our donors, our manufacturing companies will give you. And you borrow the money. Why? Because you don't have it. And you borrow the money from our people. So you give that to these guys here. You remain deplete, or we're going to replenish it with newer stock that you don't have the money to pay, but you're going to get a loan from us too. That's how the garbage goes. Ukraine says, yeah, we're fighting, we're going to give 100 armored vehicles. The Bulgarians said, yes, sir, we followed orders. The arm manufacturing companies continue their racket in Ukraine. The politicians did a good job. The Pentagon scared shitless everybody else. The banks are getting the loans, and everybody's happy. And who's paying? Do you own a mirror? I do. I look at it and I say, you are paying for it. You are paying for it. And I suggest you do that when in the morning you go to shave. You are paying. You look good, but you're paying for it. Let me see. You're paying for it. Holy moly, macaroni. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda from today, December 8th, 2023. Bulgaria overrides presidential veto to provide Ukraine with armored personnel carriers. Great. Here it is. The Bulgarian parliament overrode President Rumen Radev. When did you see these kind of things happen? That's like a wonder. I saw this happening only, you know where? In Pakistan. When it was that no confidence vote on Imran Khan, then the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who did not follow orders. And then the parliament of Pakistan voted to oust no confidence vote. So these guys could not bribe one guy, Imran Khan, but they bribed, I'm guessing, I have a bold feeling. Okay, can I have bold feelings? Can I? Okay. They bribed the parliament. Can you believe that? Yeah. So same here. These guys did not have balls to bribe the president, which I think it was just a game. As I said, I don't like you. A bong, and then, ooh, man, you've never done it like that. Like Shirley Bassey song, oh, you never done it like that. Listen to that song, I like it a lot. You've never done it like that. Shirley Bassey. The Welsh singer, like Tom Jones, my favorite, one of them at least, in the first three, in my top. For the second time, 162 Bulgarian MPs voted in favor of the bill on ratification of the agreement, while 55 voted against it. Pro-Russian representatives criticized the intention to send armored vehicles to Ukraine, repeating the president's statement that the APCs could be used to protect the Bulgarian border. No, I think they were not even refurbished. I think they were out. However, the GERB, party said that Bulgaria was protecting its national interest by helping Ukraine. So you see, they said we're gonna need this to protect the Bulgarians' border. Don't worry, we're gonna give it to those guys, and the Americans are gonna give us $2 billion of worth of APCs. You will see. I guarantee you that. You'll see. Reports also, and this thing like Bulgaria was protecting its national interest by helping Ukraine. I don't think so. You could have had it both. Or what's her name? We could have had it all. I can't remember. Adele, the same. You could have had it all, Bulgaria. You could have had NATO, European Union, and Russian gas and oil. But your bosses told you either me or I will destroy you. And Bulgaria said, shit, because we're so close to the United States of America, I think we're going to be friends with the guy across the land, not with our next door neighbor. No, we're going to be enemies with the next door neighbor because the guy from thousands of miles away, he's our friends because we've been around and we know one another for so long. They always backed our interest. This is the same thing with the Romanians. And if you guys in Romania tell me that, what did the Russians do to us? I would like to point out to you first, you have to make a comparison between or divide it into Russians and Soviet Union. You have a problem with Soviet Union, not with Russia. And you say, yeah, Russians. Okay, you have a problem with Stalin? With who exactly do you have a problem with? Give me some names. I tell you with whom you have problems. With Stalin. Right? Stalin brought Anna Pauker in your country and Walter Roman in your country and others who were not Romanians, not Russians, they were Jews. Right? And not only that, nothing wrong with that. Stalin was a Georgian. He was not a Russian. What Russians are you talking about? Don't tell me, yeah, it was Russia. No, it wasn't Russia. Stalin was in charge of Russia. Kaganovich, non-Russian, was in charge of the NKVD. What are you talking about? Lenin was Russian as I am, Zimbabwean. And my friends from Zimbabwe, I think they will give me Zimbabwean citizenship pretty soon. Why? I don't know, I have a soft spot for them, for whatever reason. But anyway, I can't disclose the reason. No, I don't have a girlfriend from Zimbabwe. Anyway, my friends, so again, and if you think about Russia, how did you won your independence in 1877 from the Turks? With whom? Without the Russians, you would have still be bent over, and one of you were sucking Moldova, and the Țara Românească, Wallachia was fucked in the ass. Without the Russians. With the Russians, you kicked those guys out. Without them, and they kind of took over, but then you maneuvered things because of the Crimean War and so on, and you maneuvered, but they helped you. Without that, you would have been with the Ottomans like this. Anyway, and the other guys would have been with Austria-Hungary. So let's go back to these guys. So think about Russia and make a distinction between Russia and Soviet Union. Ukraine was in the Soviet Union. Bessarabia and Bukovina was taken by Stalin. Stalin was not a Russian. So wake up. It was the Russians who broke Soviet Union, not a Romanian or Georgian. Report the same with the Bulgarians. Be friends with those guys over there instead of with these guys who you have a history with, dumbasses. Reports also say that during the consideration of the bill, there was a scuffle between MPs. That's the way men solve problems. I'm all for it. They should have a ring next to the parliament. They sign a paper, voluntary fight, let's go. On Monday, Bulgarian President Rumen Radev vetoed a bill passed by parliament to ratify an agreement with Ukraine to supply armored personnel carriers to Kiev. Radev justified his decision by saying that, and I'm quoting, MPs were not sufficiently familiar with the specific terms of the supply. Well, what do you want? And here is on November 22nd, Bulgaria's National Assembly ratified an intergovernmental agreement between Sofia and Kiev, which provides for the supply of 100 written-off armored personnel carriers of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Bulgaria to Ukraine. The agreement was made back in July, since the concern, Alright, well, give it to them. But you know what's going to happen? Bulgaria will get a loan to buy armament from the Americans. and the loan will be dropped on the Bulgarian people. And those things that you're going to receive from the Americans are not going to help you against the Russians. They're not going to help you. It's just like you have a wooden leg and you massage it. Oh, I feel so good. Ooh, yeah. It's a wooden leg. That's what you guys do. Oh, we're going to have 100 armored vehicles. That's going to last you 1 day against the Russians. Does it mean you should not buy them? Don't make such a big deal. Stop. Oh, the Russians are our enemies. Well, it's your country, it's your nation, as your neighbors from the north, other weasels. I was talking about them about a minute and a half ago. The same thing. They themselves as much they can with a friend from overseas that actually sold them to the Soviets. You, Bulgaria, you were sold to Soviet Union by the ones that now you're sucking their dick. Exactly. That's what you do. United States sold you into slavery to Soviet Union after the Second World War through their agreements. This is your world, this is my world. We're going to divide it. Adolf wanted a part of it. These guys divided the whole thing. So who's better? Tom Jones? Anyway, here is my friends. So why don't you talk to those guys that allow you to go to the Soviets, to the Gruzian, to the Georgian, not to the Russian, to the Georgian dictator? What's so hard? I can't tell you. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.